I'm going to spare you the countdown clock, but trust me, 50 days until the presidential election, and if this past week was any indication, we really haven't seen anything yet. So let's try and, digest it all, take a closer look at Florida. Our political analyst, Dr. Susan McManus, here with us. And Dr. McManus, Hillary Clinton started her week stumbling a bit, literally caught on a cell phone camera, stumbling into a van, falling. But was her lead in the polls, was that tumbling before what we saw?
The race was tightening without question, because even before that she had made a comment about deplorables. And it's natural after Labor Day, polls always tighten.
Everybody says that, and they have indeed, because Donald Trump now, if you look at the Real Clear Politics poll average, you've got Trump at about 2 points within Clinton, and that was about 8 points a month ago. So that's quite a gap to close.
Right, and 2 points means it's a tie. Statistically, it's
a tie, right. But you mentioned that there was some good with Hillary Clinton this week. The pneumonia bout, back on the trail. How important was that?
Very important. She made light of it. She made jokes about it. She looked healthy. And on top of that, who else came on the campaign trail for her? Very popular, the President and First Lady.
No, rumor was there was some chance for, when Michelle Obama took the stage, of 4 more years for her. I mean, does that take away from Hillary Clinton's campaign? Because you do have a popular president right now and a popular First Lady, and if they're out campaigning for her, is that all good, or are there some negatives there?
It's still good, because they both drew a crowd, so there you go.
Now, let's talk about Donald Trump. As I mentioned, down about 2 points nationally. The health info release on the Dr. Oz show. Interesting. I think that's probably a first in presidential campaigns, is it not? But you like this. You thought it was a good move.
I thought it was a good move because it's lighthearted. He just put it all on the table. He gave his blood pressure. She had given hers, all the vital signs. And it sort of puts to rest the idea of health as an issue, unless something else happens.
Unless something else happens, because Hillary Clinton still has to get through this debate here coming up a week from tomorrow. And do you trust that her health, I mean, everything you've seen, you've looked at her and followed her more closely than most of us have, do you trust that she's healthy enough to make it through a 90-minute debate?
Well, she's made it through some pretty strenuous portions of the campaign so far that you and I probably would have been into bed with, that schedule that she's keeping.
Well, I don't think I could keep up with that political schedule, even if I do wake up at 2:30 in the morning on a regular basis.
Yeah.
I do want to mention this. I want to bring this up here. Donald Trump has changed the way that he's campaigning recently. I mean, this is something we've seen. He's gone from this off-the-cuff type of style to this, I mentioned back, we were talking earlier, this sweet spot of trying to find the working off the prompter and then also off the cuff. Something maybe broadcasters can relate to, some of them. I'd like to think I'm in that boat, maybe. But he's doing this, and it's different. Is it effective, though? These are policy-based speeches here.
Well, both of them are giving policy-based speeches, and let me assure you, they're both aiming right now at women because they need the women's vote, he more than her, because he's lagging behind it. But he gave a really strong policy statement about child care this week. She talked a lot about issues of importance to women of color, who are often the key people that raise the children in the black community. They're both, at this point in the campaign, they're aiming at people that they need to turn out. And both of them are aiming also at those millennials who are now sort of not so strong towards either one of them.
Well, we want to reveal here the Florida poll. This is a CNN ORC poll of likely voters if just the 2 candidates are in the race. You don't like the fact when we say just the 2 of them. You'd like to see all the candidates, Jill Stein and Gary Johnson. But look, there's a 4-point lead for Trump. And right now, this has kind of swung the state in his favor. And I think that the projection has changed just in the last week, projecting Trump for a win here. Of course, that means nothing until votes are actually cast, but it does something for the prediction market.
And that's exactly why you need the other candidates in the mix, because the millennials, who make up 25% of Florida's voters, are very critical, especially to Hillary Clinton. And when you don't put the third-party candidates, the Libertarian and the Green, who are now attracting more of the millennials, if you don't look at the poll, because
you're missing a large portion of the vote.
Yes,
you're going to be here with us every Sunday leading up to the election. I'm so happy. Dr. Susan McManus, our political analyst. We're going to go to break and be back with more. Stay with us.
Thank you.